Conviction is not the same thing as confidence. Confidence is intellectual. You believe your strategy is good, you've back tested it, you've forward tested it, and the math works. Conviction is different. Conviction is your nervous system trusting your edge. It's the ability to sit in a losing trade knowing, not intellectually, but in the body, that this setup works over time and this drawdown is just part of the process. Most traders have confidence. Very few have conviction, and the difference is everything. I see this constantly. A trader does the work, they build a strategy, they validate it, they have strong backtesting skills, and they understand why it works. And then they take 5 real trades, lose 3, and suddenly all that confidence evaporates. Why? Because intellectual confidence is fragile. It's based on a narrative about how something should work. And the moment that reality doesn't match that narrative, the confidence breaks. Real conviction is different. Real conviction is built on embodied experience. It's your nervous system through repeated exposure learning that this setup is real. And that's a slower, deeper process than intellectual validation. There are 3 elements. Element 1, deep familiarity with your setup. Not surface level recognition, deep. You can see it across multiple time frames. You understand the market conditions, where it works and where it breaks. You know in your body what this pattern looks like. Most traders rush this. They see a setup that works, they trade it, and they move on. But deep familiarity requires repetition at a neurological level. I recommend 50 to 100 trades minimum before you can develop real conviction on a new setup. 50 to 100 repetitions. That's how long it takes for your brain to encode the pattern at the nervous system level, not just at the intellectual level. Element 2, experiencing both profitable and unprofitable cycles on that setup. And this is critical. You need to have multiple winning periods and multiple losing periods on the same setup. Why? Because the only way your nervous system learns that the edge is real is by seeing it work, then stop working, then work again. That cycle teaches your brain this setup has inherent variance, and that variance doesn't invalidate the edge. Traders without that experience quit edges during the losing cycle because they're convinced the edge is broken. Traders with that experience stay in because they know this is normal. This is part of the process. Element 3, active regulation while you're building conviction. You can't build real conviction if you're dysregulated, because dysregulation will make you exit the trade before it has a chance to work. Real conviction requires that you stay in the trade, stay regulated long enough for the setup to play out, and you repeat that 50 to 100 times. If you're exiting early because you're dysregulated, you're not building conviction. You're building a pattern of early exits. The conviction you're building is built on the conditions you trade under. If you trade under dysregulation, the conviction is dysregulated. This is why traders lose their edge. They build conviction on their setup, but they build it under specific conditions. Maybe they build it trading small, or trading fresh in the morning, or trading in calm market conditions. Then real life happens, and they're trading bigger. They're trading tired. The market is choppy, and suddenly they're trading under different conditions than the ones where they built their conviction. And the conviction collapses because the conviction was tied to those specific conditions, not to the edge itself. Real conviction, the kind that translates, is conviction built under real conditions, under the worst conditions that you're likely to face. So how do you actually build it? Well, step 1, take your setup and commit to 100 repetitions. Not 100 days, 100 trades. That's the minimum encoding. Step 2, during those 100 trades, you trade at your psychological optimal size in all market conditions at all times of day. You don't protect the setup. You don't wait for perfect conditions. You trade it in real life. Step 3, you track it obsessively. Entry conditions, your activation level at entry, your price movement, your exit, your P&L, your EI percentage on that specific setup. After 100 trades, you will have a data set, a real map of how the setup behaves under real conditions. And that data set will either confirm the edge or invalidate it. But either way, you'll know. Not believe, know. Step 4, if it's confirmed, you now have conviction. Not because you believe in it, because you have evidence in your body. You've executed that setup 100 times, you've seen it work and not work, and you've managed through the variance. Your nervous system has encoded the pattern. You don't have to think about it anymore. You can feel it. And that feeling, that embodied knowledge, is conviction. Step 5, from that conviction base, you can build outward. You can trade it bigger because your nervous system already knows it works. You can combine it with other setups because your conviction is the first one. Your conviction in the first one is solid, and conviction compounds. Once you have it on one edge, building it on the next is faster. So here's what I want you to hear. You don't need a new strategy to build conviction. You probably need to build deeper conviction on the one that you have. Most traders have 2 or 3 setups that work, but they trade them with shallow conviction, not deep conviction. They jump between setups. They modify them. They lose faith during losing cycles. What if instead you took your best setup and committed to 100 hard repetitions, really learning it, really testing it, really building the kind of conviction that survives a losing cycle? That might be worth more to your trading than finding the next perfect strategy. Here's your challenge. Pick your best setup. Commit to 100 trades with that setup only, fully tracking all conditions. After 100, tell me what changed about how you trade it. I'm betting your conviction, real conviction, will be unshakable. I'm offering you something, a complimentary 1-hour trader performance audit with me over Zoom. In this session, we'll identify your core edge and build a systematic plan for the 100 trades that will lock in your conviction. Apply for your audit using the link in the description. Subscribe and drop a comment about your core edge. I want to know what setup you're building conviction on. We'll see you in the next one.